Good morning. Hi, everyone. I'm Jason DeRusha. Welcome to the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. Today presented with 48% less hair. It was intentionally done, too. Sometimes I show up with less hair, and that's just, well, the sad marching of time moving forward. Got a haircut. I did it for you. Yeah, you. How about some weather? I'm doing that for you, too. More melting today. Might be a little slick out there right now. Be careful if you're walking out the door. Maybe finish watching the morning update, then put your phone in your pocket as you go walking because it's a little slick as some of the melting is frozen overnight. It'll warm back up, though. The sun is already out, and the sun is doing a lot of work. That angle of the sun, late February, does some nice melting and should be mild this afternoon. 37 is the high temperature we're looking at right around 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. Should be a nice night. On tap, headed for a pretty decent weekend. Let's talk about this. The state wants more COVID tests for Minnesota students. So your 7th, 8th graders, your high schoolers, MDH saying, you know, it'd be a good idea for parents to have their families tested for COVID every 2 weeks. Now, the health department says they'll share some online resources with schools and organizations. And boy, nothing like online resources to kind of get things going, right? I think they're going to basically just tell people like, hey, there are free testing centers like at the convention center, and I was at the one in Brooklyn Park yesterday. It's not a requirement, but it's a recommendation, and it might be peace of mind, too, for parents. If you do this every 2 weeks, you know your kids are all right, but they really want this information to track this. How is it going? Is there spread in the schools? Is there not? Is there COVID in the schools? Is there not? What do you think about this? Is this a good idea? If you're a parent, do you think you would do this? Are you going to gather up the kids and go have them, you know, spit in the test tube? Leave a comment on Facebook, and we'll share through your thoughts on this in a couple minutes. I went yesterday with my 13-year-old because he was at school, and the kid he was having lunch with one day last week ended up testing positive. But he was having lunch at school. They were distanced, and he tested negative. So, you know what? Some people are positive, some are negative. No judgment here. The state says more seniors are going to need to get their vaccines before other Minnesotans get access. We were wondering how this was going to shake out, right? There's another group waiting, the kind of essential worker group. The goal that the governor is expected to announce today for 65 plus is 70% vaccination. That's a lot of vaccine, right? And we know there are more people out there who want vaccine in the 65 plus crowd who have not been vaccinated. Right now, the number is around 42%. So the state's saying, look, we can do this. We can get to 70% by the end of March. But that does mean that if you're in the essential worker category under 65, you're waiting till April, at least. A third vaccine option will likely make this a little easier. The FDA says Johnson & Johnson's single-dose vaccine is safe, it's effective. So just one dose, and it doesn't have to be stored in that sub-zero temperature chamber either. Agencies expected to approve the vaccine. There will be like public review of the data tomorrow, and then so maybe it'll be approved Friday afternoon is sort of what the people who know about this are expecting. Millions of doses could start shipping next week. More law enforcement will start appearing in downtown Minneapolis this week. It's all part of, well, it's a weird thing to see, right? The city hall is all kind of fenced off, and so is the courthouse downtown. State getting ready for a big trial, of course. You know the trial of Derek Chauvin is coming soon. About 2 weeks, jury selection will start. Chauvin, of course, accused of murder in the death of George Floyd. This is the courtroom, and this is what it looks like outside. Barbed wire, fencing. City Hall expected to be a focus for protests, partially because of the mayor, partially because the police department's headquartered in City Hall, and there's the government center right across kind of the plaza there, where the trial will be held. So that'll be where a lot of protest is going down. This week, National Guard soldiers will start kind of showing up in this area. They're going to test their communication equipment. Golf legend Tiger Woods beginning a long road to recovery after that serious crash. We're really getting more of a sense from doctors as to how serious the leg reconstruction has been. He's awake, he's responsive, according to a statement on his Twitter account. Investigators are saying it looks like this was purely an accident. There are some kind of traffic things they're still looking into. The car has a black box, if you will, that will record what the speed was at the rate of impact, and they're taking a look at cell phone records to see if he was on his phone at the time. But no impairment, so that's good. They're saying he's likely not going to be charged. They are going to review this stretch of road. Officials in California say there have been 13 crashes in the past 13 months along that same section. Today, a space for black artists and entrepreneurs to share ideas and collaborate is opening in South Minneapolis. This is pretty cool. Black Table Arts Cooperative getting its own space along Minnehaha Avenue. Mariel Mose did a nice story on this yesterday. The idea is that this would be a place for healing, for grieving, for connecting, for working, for arts. It's about 6 blocks away from the 3rd Police Precinct, which of course was burned in the uprising following George Floyd's death last May. The proximity of the precinct is intentional, we're told. It's to give the community a place to grieve through art and keep the conversation going about police brutality.
We still remember Jamar Clark and Philando Castile, and we still remember Marcus Golden. And so these names are ones to say and to think and to write poems about.
Grand opening is from 11 to 4 today. They'll have kind of all the COVID precautions in place. You can take a tour and learn more about becoming a member of that co-working space. It is a pay-what-you-can membership. Co-op also looking for book donations to fill their library with black authors. Even though our days feel warmer, the temperature, as you know, drops at night. We talked about that. Right now, it's about 25, 26 degrees. This is a perfect recipe for a refreeze. And I want you to meet my new favorite Minnesotan. Her name is Deb Luna. She lives in West St. Paul. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield somehow found Deb the other day. And Deb is a soundbite machine. Deb needs her own CBSN Minnesota update. Listen to Deb as she describes in a colorful way, a way that only Deb Luna could describe how she bit it while taking out her recycling bin.
I mean, I felt it hit the concrete. I mean, that's what you're hitting, you know, because your head swings back. So when the neighbor came, he dragged me over there to the little bit of snowier area to pick me up. And, you know, by this time I'm just soaking wet down to my underwear and because you can't get up.
Soaking wet down to your underwear. Deb is sort of the unofficial mayor of the West Side. Dr. at HCMC told us, you know, they gave us some tips. It's always kind of dopey, right? Here's your tips on how to prevent falling. Try to quickly lower your center of gravity. Drop anything in your arms. Protect your head at all costs. So there you go. All right, have you seen this dolphin stampede yet? There's about 2,000 dolphins spotted off the Southern California coast this week. There's a whale watching group that say, you know, because you wonder, like, what the heck is going on? And how's this for, like, news of the obvious? So we got this video, and whoever reported this story in California is like, gosh, we better figure, the people are going to want to know why. Why are the dolphins doing this? What's happening? And so they reached out to the experts. They said, well, you know, dolphins travel this way when they're in a hurry. What? That's what I was wondering. Why are they doing it? They're in a hurry. Okay. All right. Well, we don't need any sort of expert analysis to explain this video. This is one of our favorites of the morning. A TikTok captioned, "When I try to hide the cookies." Oh, we got a climber. The TikTok user Enchanted World of Ella uses the hashtags Cookie Monster, 3-year-olds, American Ninja Warrior, Rock Climbing Kid. Ba, 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 ba. Here's the thing, you're not going to keep cookies away from a 3-year-old. And this is not the first time she's done that, clearly. It's pretty great. It's impressive. But you know, it starts at age 3 with the cookies. And what else is this young lady going to be climbing? It's the slide down the refrigerator handles for me. That's what did it. Let's see what you're saying about our conversation topic today, which is getting young people tested for COVID-19. Sarah says, personally, I think it seems a little excessive to test students every 2 weeks. We get tested bi-monthly here at Channel 4 for coming into work. Becca says, I think it's a great idea. I don't think my preschooler will cooperate. Yeah. I got my 13-year-old to spit in the test tube, no problem. But then 13-year-old boys love to spit. Christina says, meh, every 2 weeks without any symptoms or any exposure seems excessive. Not what the CDC recommends. I do think it's actually useful for people who have no symptoms to occasionally go and get a test. Partially because it helps make the data more accurate as to what the positivity rate is. Amanda says, I have a friend teaching in Austria, and they're testing teachers and students in school twice a week. I would love this. It'd be unrealistic to leave it to parents, so many send their kids in sick without testing them. I know that schools are trying to have better access to testing in the schools. Jason says, yeah, it's free, so let's do it. Thanks, Jason. Danielle says, let's not waste resources, only test if necessary. Simon says, if it's that difficult to have them in school, then just keep them home. That's what we have done. I don't think it's that it's difficult, Simon. It's that when we're sending everybody back, we want to know what's happening. And if you don't test, you don't really know. And that says, I think it's an excellent idea. You don't want to spread it to people who can't fight off the virus. You know, there are so many ways to get tested. You can get those kits mailed to your house, and you can do the test right from home. The test I did yesterday, we did around 1 in the afternoon, and I had results by midnight. So it's terrific. It's terrific. Shout out to the Brooklyn Park Testing Center. You guys are awesome. We've gone to the convention center as well here in downtown Minneapolis. Nicest people at these centers, so we appreciate you guys. Kind of a wacky job, right? Sit there while people spit in a test tube. But we need you guys, so thank you, and thank you for watching. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.